What's going on, YouTube? Somebody Joe back at it again for another rendition of Bitcoin analysis. So today is Sunday, September 1st. Happy September. Normally, September's trends down, right? It's normally a sell-off month. I think there was only 1 year that Bitcoin was up, and I think that was only like 4%. But notoriously, Bitcoin trends down in September. People sell off. They trying to take some profits from the summer, and hopefully getting ready to buy stuff cheaper for October, right? So we called yesterday for 56,000. Okay, as you can see right now on the chart, Bitcoin broke below 58,000. Okay, so now we're sitting at about, at the time of recording, 57,400. Okay, so we're getting closer to that call of 56,000. Now, what happens if it breaks below that, right? So if we break below 56, the next level of support is going to be 53. Okay, so 53,000. So here's where it gets scary. If something happens to where it decides to break below 53,000, we're going into the 40,000 range, and we're going to about 47. Yeah, 47,000 would be next level of resistance. But I don't want you guys to freak out. I want you, instead of panicking, especially if you're a new buyer in Bitcoin, like, oh my god, I put money in there, it's like every time I check my account it's red. What do? You know, I did this to change my life. What is happening? So I've been in this game since 2020, right? So it's my 4th year trading in cryptocurrency, and I've learned a lot, right? And one of the things you learn is don't get swept up in the emotions of the ups and downs and the volatility, right? If you believe in the projects to where you're willing to put your hard-earned money into it, believe and have conviction in that, right? Because what did we say the last 2 days? This is going to be the world's money. Think of everything in Satoshis, right? So one Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis in it. So 0.1 Bitcoin has 10 million Satoshis, okay? So I want you to think in small incremental patterns. Now, we know if this becomes the world's money, it's going to be priceless, right? Dollars aren't even going to be able to touch it. So I want you to change your mindset to be optimistic for months like September. So months like September, when things are going down, look at the red as buying the dip, buying the red, buying things cheap, blood in the streets, coming in there. I have so much more buying power because it's low. And think about it as, you know, I like putting Bitcoin in 0.1. So normal people in this space, that's what we can afford, right? You know, 0.1. Or if you're in the camp 0.01, that's okay, or 0.001, whatever. As long as you're getting in and you're stacking Satoshis, you're in a good place, okay? So look at it as I have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, 10 million Satoshis below $6,000, right? And if it breaks below 53,000, look at it as, oh my God, I get to buy 10 million Satoshis in the $4,000 range. That's crazy. This is going to be the last time that it's going to be this cheap. I guarantee it. Because now that it's getting into political talks of, hey, there's this congresswoman on there that's preaching, if the U.S. decides to make a project of, if we own 1 million Bitcoin, 1 million full Bitcoin, right? And usually, no, always. Okay, so whatever the U.S. decides to do financially, every other country in the world will follow suit, because they're like, okay, well, Big Brother and our leader of the world is doing this, so we should probably do this because they have the most successful economy in the world, right? So if they see that we're buying 1 million Bitcoin, they're going to want to try to get 1 million, or maybe 500,000 or 250,000, whatever that country can afford, right, to prop up their numbers and to clear their balance sheets and to pay off their debt. And once that happens and we start kind of going parabolic with that amount of money, they're saying that with just a million Bitcoin, we can pay off our national debt in half. And I think right now it's at, I don't know, 36, 37 trillion, some astronomical number, which calculates to about $100,000 per citizen. That if every citizen in the U.S. decided, hey, you know what, U.S. government, we're going to give you $100,000 and we're all going to chip in and pay this debt. Can you imagine? So Congress is talking about it. Political candidates are talking about it. Full businesses are adopting it, right? We were talking about MicroStrategy. All they did, they're just a little software company, and all they did, they just, whatever assets they got, they're just like, hey, we're going to just buy Bitcoin with this. All right, now their valuation is more, they did better, they performed better than NVIDIA, the biggest company in the world right now. I think they're worth $3 trillion, right, for a tech company. It's insane. I know AI is going ballistic, all the technology for that. So that, I mean, bar none, that is the future. The leader of that company works tirelessly, and he's always cranking out better and better products, and he takes personal responsibility for his product, and that's success right there. He's like the Steve Jobs of our time. So don't panic if you're seeing your account in red right now. Be happy that it's red. Red is a lucky color, okay? Where I work, everything in the building is red because of just a superstition that it's a lucky color, right? It has a lot of good traits to it. So I want you to look red. If you see red in your account, be like, oh my God, I have another opportunity to buy the best asset in the world for cheap. All right. So what are other things that we can do right now when Bitcoin is on a downtrend? If you're an intermediate trader to where you're also in the meme coin space, I don't recommend buying meme coins right now. Okay, because if you've been in that space, you understand that if Bitcoin drops 5%, your meme coin is dropping 30%, right? So until we get a full conviction of a positive trend with Bitcoin, to where, hey, we're going up each week over week, it's positive, that's when I would start kind of getting into some meme coins. Because yes, you could DCA meme coins right now, but if you're getting 30% drops each time, that DCA is not really going to be worth it. It's better to just keep the dry powder on the side, wait for it to fully bottom out, and then you can kind of come in and start buying those meme coins when it actually picks a direction. Okay, buy it dirt cheap. And I wouldn't go for the small meme coins. I would go, and none of this is financial advice. Right? So I would go for the household names, right? Like you got your Dogecoin that Elon Musk absolutely loves. You got your Pepe, which is the number one on Ethereum. You got Brett, which is the number one on the Ethereum base chain. Solana, it's always kind of goes back and forth. I think Bonk is still the number one, and then they got Dog with Hat. But Solana is really tough because it fluctuates. It's so easy to move money in and out of there that it's hard to make profits in anything with Solana. So I would recommend the Ethereum ones or Dogecoin, just because it's more serious money that thinks long term is in those projects, right? Solana, you're looking at mainly day traders that they're looking for a quick 5-10% and then they're getting out and they don't care. Whereas Ethereum, they're thinking more long term. Dogecoin is its own camp. Elon Musk loves it. He keeps talking about it with possibly integrating it with his X network, which took over Twitter. So you can get possibly into those things, or just wipe out all the noise and just focus on Bitcoin only, because Bitcoin only is going to be what the world currency is going to be, and you can buy whatever you want. Because Bitcoin is going to have such a high valuation, Bitcoin will bring everything up, but whatever you have in that is your Bitcoin stash, your buying power with that is going to be astronomical. It's going to be better than anything you're ever going to buy, and especially if full-blown countries, full-blown governments, full-blown institutions are only buying Bitcoin, that valuation is going to be insane. We're talking $100 trillion, right? BlackRock itself, I think, manages 10 to 15 trillion just by themselves. So if you take the entire planet of countries getting into one single digital asset, Yeah, 100 trillion, 200 trillion. And then they're even talking about possibly Bitcoin eclipsing the real estate market. Like people might sell their houses to just buy Bitcoin instead because it's going to perform better. There's no maintenance, right? There's a lot of maintenance on houses. There's a lot of laws that people can just kind of squat in your home and then live there for up to a year or 2 years before you kick them out. Like that's terrible for the real estate business. And then also, you got commercial real estate, which is having a problem right now that is not really getting too much coverage in the media. I think, so 2008 was the housing crisis. I think this next crisis could be commercial real estate because of the high interest rates and people not normally working in buildings like they used to back before the COVID days. So there's a lot of things that could happen, but it's the best digital currency technology in the world, bar none. Like Michael Saylor says, there is no second best. Okay, so if you don't want a second best of your life, bid into what's best to be the best, right? Buy what everybody else is talking about, buy what governments are talking about, buy what institutions are talking about. You might hear a couple meme coins in the office. Unless you do your diligent research and say, hey, you know what, this is a good project, I would just stay away right now, especially if it's on a downtrend. Because even if Bitcoin stays on a downtrend, right, you're talking 3-5% here and there, 6%. If you're dollar cost averaging every 2 weeks, that's nothing. It really isn't. You'll lose maybe a few $100, right? If you're focusing on the 0.1s or the 0.01s. Obviously, if you're buying full Bitcoin, it's a few thousand. But if you're buying full Bitcoin, you don't care about a few thousand, right? So don't sweat it. This is how you change your life. You don't change your life by buying what's already valuable, right? You buy and you change your life when you buy when things are cheap, right? That's exactly what Warren Buffett is doing. He sold all his Apple stock, his US bank stocks, and he's got $300 billion right now of just cash. And he's just waiting on the sidelines like, all right. Oh, here it goes. No, we'll wait. Here it goes. All right, now let's buy it. Let's buy the whole thing, and now he owns 15% of the world, right? So that's how they do this. This is how they do it over and over and over again. From the Great Depression, there's wealth transfer of the entire world, right? So once they find a winning ratio, winning equation, winning solution, they're going to keep doing it over and over again. So follow what they do. If you want to be successful in life, follow somebody that's already successful. Follow their traits, copy them, and eventually you'll start advancing your life. Okay? So I hope you found some things that were helpful and useful. If you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to try to do this every day because Bitcoin's every day, and I enjoy doing this. And I'm trying to get more and more momentum and get more comfortable on the camera. So I very much appreciate you guys out there who give it a watch and a like. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.